Hey folks, welcome back to another video where I get to help you take your power back while using astrology and tarot. My name is Latoya of Emerald Astrology, and today I'm super excited to talk with you about Mercury retrograde in Pisces and how this can be coming up for you. So if you found this video, this is for you. I'm super excited to dive in. All right, so Mercury. Mercury is a planet of communication, how we perceive the world, we see the world, and from that standpoint, we can then create meaning, which is more so Jupiter. But in this case, this is kind of like helping us like see how are we seeing the world. So Mercury is the perception. And with it being in Pisces, which is Jupiter ruled, there is an easier way to create meaning around what we observe and how it all connects to all things. And so this Mercury retrograde is not logical. It's very subjective, it's whimsical, it's interpretive, it's emotional, and you're probably feeling like you're in the soup right now. Maybe thinking is not very clear. Maybe even how you communicate with others is not very clear. And therefore, it's a wonderful time to slow down, invite more rest, invite more perspective, other perspectives, and see where you fit in the bigger picture of life. This is not a time to push an agenda. This is not a time to make things happen. This is not even the time to try to talk and hash things out. This is more of being, observing, and slow communication. If you're wanting to do that, slow communication, taking your time to formulate your thoughts and your words, and allowing other people to do that as well. Because if we don't, this is the time where we would have a lot of mishaps. We would say the things we don't mean to say. We'll send the wrong email to the wrong, send an email to the wrong person or the wrong email to the right person. These things can happen and can create a lot of havoc if we're not mindful, if we're not taking our time and being intentional. So, yes, with Mercury now stationing retrograde today, if you're listening, it's February 26th, and it is currently conjunct Venus, just 2 degrees away. And now he's slowing down, ready to back up and get right back into company with Venus. And so this retrograde could be very focused on reflecting, rethinking, restructuring our relationships, how we relate to ourselves and our feminine aspect of ourselves, to women, to things we love, to things that we find attractive, and doing it in the most highest order possible because this is Venus and exalted in Pisces. And so there's a lot of room for compassion. There's a lot of room for unconditional love. There's a lot of room for figuring, finding meaning in our relationships and seeing how it is an alignment to the greater order of life, of things, of universe, of God, of goddess, whatever you believe in. And so, yeah, Mercury is really helping us rethink these things, making sure that we are in good company, that we are in love, that we're moving in love, that we are sitting with love, that we have love for ourselves, even though we may not be perfect, even though this is the opposite, Virgo here, opposite Pisces. Even though we're not perfect, even though we have our downfalls, even though we could be very critical of ourselves, even though we might have other people that are critical of us and say we're too messy, we're too vague, we are too big thinking, we're too dreamy, we're too naive, we're too much of this and not enough of that. We can have people like that in our lives at times. And so this is Mercury retrograde and with Venus is making us rethink who we connect to, how we connect to, who we're attracted to, why we're attracted to them, and how we can hold space for ourselves more as we navigate this, what could be confusing times. So I got 7 cards here. I want to just pull out 7 cards for us to kind of swim through this retrograde. So Mercury will be retrograde. I think it's until the 20th, if I did remember that correctly. Let me double check. So today's the 26th, and Mercury will station direct. Yep, on March 20th at 8 degrees Pisces. So we'll have some time to do this reflection process, but I'm going to pull these cards here to help us through. And yeah, just let me know if this has been helpful. You can find my email at emeraldastrology@gmail.com. So you can email me, you can DM me on Instagram. I would love to know how your retrograde process is going. So the first card here talks about where you are swimming in illusion. So what story, assumptions, or fantasy that is clouding your perception right now. Remember, Mercury is our perception. So this illusion that is clouding our vision right now is 2 of Wands. We have a plan. We have this grand plan. We are like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. People are going to support us here, they're going to do this. And it's all going to come together. It's all going to work out. This plan that we've created is the illusion. We think we have the world in our hands, but we don't realize that we only have like a pebble of it. There's so much more to consider, there's so much more to understand. You probably haven't even dropped in your body yet. You haven't even asked what your body feels about this plan. And therefore, this is not the plan. This is not the direction we should be going. And so if we're not considering our emotions, our body, the capacity, the emotional capacity that we have, this may not be the plan for us. I had a coach that used to tell me when she was like, okay, yeah, you have this vision, you have this idea, but let's close our eyes real quick. Let's think about it. What does it feel like if you were to do the work, make this plan happen? Do you feel light or do you feel heavy? And so now whenever I have a sort of plan, and this idea that I'm going to manifest, this is kind of like my test for myself. It's like, body, how do we actually feel to do all these things? Does it feel good? Does it feel heavy? And, so this is kind of like Mercury retrograde is helping us go through this process. That's my recommendation as you're going through this retrograde is how does it actually feel to follow through on the plan? If you vision someone else doing it, do you get excited? Or you're like, thank God, I don't have to do that? That's a sign, that's a flag, Paying attention to that is important. So the next card here is what memory is resurfacing for healing? So Mercury retrograde has this ability to help us revisit the past, help us revisit the things we have done, the things that we did plan to do, and how did it all come together? How did it all come apart? We have this chance to review and reflect what we've been through for the past 3 months or so. And so, yeah, so what is ready to be acknowledged? The Hermit card. Right off the bat, we feel like we got to be alone. We need some time alone. We need not to be influenced by other people's agendas, other people's desires or expectations of us. What's resurfacing for healing now is this desire to look within, to find our glow, to find our light, to find our meaning, our purpose, and not look outside ourselves for other people to complete us, to tell us this is where you should go. The Hermit card is about finding that truth, finding that light within on our own. And so that's what's resurfacing right now. The next card here is where you've been betrayed, where your intuition has been betrayed. And we have the Hermit card here. This is where a logic has override our inner knowing. This is kind of like, well, the thing with the Hermit being here, it makes me the Hermit, the sorry, the Hierophant being here. This is the Hierophant. This card talks about, well, this is how it always has been done. Therefore, we continue to do it this way. This is where you betray yourself. This is where you betrayed your intuition. Because especially in Pisces, you're going to see a totally different perspective than other people are going to understand. Pisces is a very visionary sign. And so it's not about, the order of things, the way things has been done because of tradition or because this is in the Bible, this is the book, this is the wisdom book that we all follow. And therefore, you can't go outside of this. You can't go outside of your teacher. You can't go outside of your preacher. You can't go outside of your priest. Well, that's bad. You're bad for that. This is where you betrayed your intuition. This is where you betrayed yourself. And Mercury retrograde is bringing this up now. It's showing this to you that this is how we've been portraying ourselves. Do we want to continue in this direction? So the next card here is what truth is trying to speak through to you, through your dreams, through your signs or synchronicities. Think about Pisces speaks in a symbolic kind of way. It's just not going to be direct through voice and words, although sometimes it might be. You might ask spirit to show you a sign, and then someone comes up to you and says something very out of the ordinary. You're like, that might be the sign. So that's sometimes how things can be communicated, especially through Pisces season. And the Empress comes up. So the truth that is trying to come to you now is to remember that you are a co-creator. You are creative yourself, that you don't have to burn yourself out. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to rush to anything. You can rest in your creativity. Allow what needs to come through you to come through you. Allow, 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 allow. Anytime I see the Empress, that's the word that comes to me. Allow. The Empress, in this card, she's pregnant. She's able to birth ideas, birth children, birth whatever needs to be birthed. It may not even be plants, but she is Venus. She's very fertile. She's able to create life. But in order to do that, you have to allow the ideas, the humans, the things, whatever needs to come through you to come through you. You can't say, no, 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 I gotta have control and keep you all in. That's a different story. That's Kronos. That's Kronos swallowing his children. But with Empress, this is allow things to come through you, to birth through you, even though it might feel uncomfortable. And if it's uncomfortable, breathe through it. Breathe. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, say, hey, I can rest. But I'm going to allow what needs to come through me to come through me. I'm not going to hold it all in. So I see that's important there. That's what's speaking to you, through you, especially during Mercury retrograde. So what boundaries need strengthening right now? This is what needs to come to be, need to be respected. And Pisces has a way to dissolve things. And Mercury is trying to put it all together, figure it out. But Knight of Swords comes up. So this boundary that needs to be strengthened is your willingness to allow, because I see this Knight of Swords heading straight to the Empress. And the Empress is the one that has the agenda, but she is more soft with it. She's more open to suggestion. But with the Knight of Swords, it's like this determination to allow what needs to come through you. And also to protect as well. To protect what is getting in the way of you allowing. Even though it feels like the wind is coming against you. It feels like everything is going against you. Like feel like adversity is coming from left and right and trying to prevent you from doing that. But still be determined, be flexible, is what I'm seeing. Be flexible with it, but still determined to allow. So, what spiritual gift is being reactivated for you? So, this is what the retrograde is really definitely bringing up. And we have Five of Wands in reverse. So, this is, talks about inner conflict. So, the spiritual gift that's being reactivated is this inner conflict, right? And this inner conflict is happening is because we are resisting the dance, what that dance looks like, because we have this passion, this thing that excites us. That's what the Wands talks about. This thing that could be this a great project for ourselves, but we got too many what is that, pots in the stove, too many things going on that conflicts us, that prevents us from flowing, from dancing with it. And so the spiritual gift is figuring out that dance, figuring out that flow. What is that ebb? What is that flow? Well, how do we hold everything that we desire together in a way that makes sense to us, not necessarily everybody else, but to us? I know for me, being a Pisces, being a Gemini person, which is also another mutable sign like Pisces, I have a lot of things going on, especially with Saturn. I have Saturn in Pisces. I have a lot of things that I want to do that can sometimes conflict, itself. But having a Saturn in the eighth house, I've learned that following my own uh, cycle, my menstrual cycle, has been really helpful because that helps me see where I need to rest, where I need to move, how I need to dance, where I need to relax, I might move slower, when I can dance faster, do these things. And it can be a beautiful flow. I don't have to give up or fall into the inner conflict. Although there are some days where it does feel like I'm just drowning in the conflict, the inner conflict, the feeling like I'm not doing enough. But if that's happening, just be gentle with yourself. Do something nice for yourself. And, if you need to lay down, lay down. But know that you'll get back to it. You'll get back to that passion, that project that excites you, that gives you energy, that helps you flow. You'll get back to it. There's no need to worry. But yeah, finding the flow is the spiritual gift. Finding the flow. And if that's, following your menstrual cycle, or if that's following the moon cycles, if that's whatever, what is this word? I can't think of the word right now, but whatever that flow is that's really helpful for you, that template, that framework, that's the word I was looking for, that framework that helps you not drown in the inner conflict, allow that to be. Allow that to set you in place and keep you determined to get what you are trying to allow to come through you. That's birthing, that's ready to birth through you. So how do you move with clarity once this Mercury retrograde fog lifts? So we got 10 of Wands in reverse. So this talks about delegation. This talks about seeing what is necessary for you to uphold so that you can complete what your idea that you want to be completed and not burn yourself out while doing it. So delegation, letting go, what is preventing you, and allowing what is wanting to birth through you. All right? So that is your Mercury retrograde reading. I hope that this has been helpful. And if you would like to stay in connection, I do have a market coming up at Yarrow and Sage. So I would love to see you there if that is something that you would like to do. This is going to happen this Sunday at 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So yeah, March 1st, you're on stage with the Awesome Witches Market. I hope to see you there. Thanks for listening. Bye.